So the first two things that you want to consider: can your inverter handle more solar panels? Does your roof have more space for solar panels? Most solar panel systems, whether you have micro inverters or string inverters or DC optimizers, they have design constraints where you can only put so many panels on a circuit, or you can only backfeed so much power into your main panel. For this installation, there's plenty of square footage up here. It's just a matter of how to use the roof in order to get the most sun exposure for your solar panels. And I can only put 7 panels on this array before the circuit's maxed out. I don't have enough room to put panels up there. I really don't have room to squeeze one in there or there. I think, and this is kind of a pain, but what I'm going to do is actually take those turtle vents out, relocate them to the other side, and then put 3 panels landscape on top of those portrait ones. I think if you're spending, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on a solar installation, it's very much worth it to get a roofer involved. And if you have any random turtle vents or pipe vents, move them. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I've added the 3 additional panels to the south facing roof. This array looks perfect. Use the same mid clamps, the same rails, the same solar panels, so it fits in there. It's all finished up and we're getting ready to start the inverter. So I'll break out the drone and give you a final look at everything. I'm back at the home office. I'm going to show you the math on how to calculate the exact amount of solar panels you need. The quickest way to do this, and it's pretty user friendly, it's not that intimidating, is to go to PV Watts, like pvwatts.nrel.gov. This website is a free, easy way to estimate solar panel production. I'm just going to go ahead and do Salt Lake City. This is going to bring up the sun hours and all the weather data for your area. So type in your city, hit next. So let's say we're using 340 watt panels. You can go through these settings. Premium panels, it's open racking, that's fine. It's gonna default the losses at 14%, that's fine, leave it. If you know you have a real steep roof, put it more like 40 degrees. If you have a real flat roof, put it down at maybe the 10-20. We'll leave the azimuth at 180 degrees, which is south facing. But if you're east facing, you're at 90 degrees. And if you're west facing, you're at 270 degrees. So you can kind of adjust that depending on what direction your roof faces. And then leave the advanced parameters, residential, and then also you can put in your maybe your blended kilowatt hour rate, which here in Utah it's about 13 cents. Oh, 1 second, I always do this. This is kilowatts on the DC system rating, so that's 0.34, if that makes sense. It's 340 watts, 0.34 kilowatts. It's saying in my area, a solar panel is going to produce about 521 kilowatt hours on an annual basis. Now there's a few other things to consider. Do you have like a 1-to-1 net metering, or is there a reduced export credit? You might need to compensate for that. Another thing that you may want to consider is the cost of adding 1 panel versus the cost of adding 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. There's going to be an amount that makes the most sense. On this solar installation, we had 20 panels. Each circuit could handle up to 15 solar panels. We had a circuit of 12 where we added those 3 panels landscape, and then we had a circuit of 8 where we added 7 more panels, and so we had 2 circuits of 15. Right there, we're kind of maxing out the system. We didn't have to update any wiring in the attic, didn't have to upgrade the inverter. It was relatively easy just to tie into those circuits and add those panels. Now, if you wanted 11 panels, that may have been pulling new wire or redoing all the circuits on the roof, or maybe upgrading the inverter, and that would have been very costly to do that. So in this situation, it made a lot of sense. Even though the customer only needs about 7 solar panels, it made sense to add 10. It fit on the roof perfect, and it maxed out the inverter. Another thing to consider in Utah is adding more solar panels, and I'm sure this is the same with other areas, can kick you out of your current net metering agreement. So you need to check with the power company. If I add more panels, am I going to be on a different net metering agreement to get on a new schedule where it might be less favorable or there might be more fees associated with it? That's everything for me. I will be compiling these videos in different playlists. Go to our channel, subscribe, and you can check out the playlist if you're interested in, say, batteries or kind of work vlogs like this, or electric car charging, or whatever topic. But thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.